Okay, so let's go over the indicator. Let's go to a fresh chart, okay? Let's go to a fresh chart, guys. All right, let's go. All right, new chart layout. So let's go over the indicator, okay? Let's go over the TVAR indicator. Many, many new functions, okay? And then we're going to get to the drawing. So let's get this old school volume out of here. We don't need the volume at the bottom. We already have an indicator. We already have candles telling us where the volume is, right? All right, so indicators. Here we go. Invite-only scripts. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me refresh this. And make sure we have the correct indicator on the chart. All right. Invite only. Here we go. Let's go over the basics of this indicator. Start to finish, guys. And this is just part one. And then when I'm done with this, we'll do the raffle. I got to put the names into the spinner, and we'll do the raffle. All right? So here we go. Here is your TVAR indicator. Okay? Here's your TVAR indicator. Let's go over some of the functions. Okay? Wait, is this the correct one? Version 803. Okay, here we go. All right, so number one, let me go in the settings here and check some things out for you guys. All right, inputs. I believe they made this so that you can turn off everything except for the TVA candles, right? Is that this new one you guys made? Whatever, we'll go through the indicator anyways. All right, so number one, we have our liquidity zones, okay? I never signed up for the raffle. MV, you can still sign up for the raffle, okay? You can still sign up for the raffle. The TVAR indicator itself will be available to the entire Discord on Friday, guys, November 19th, okay? Go into, MV, go into the raffle channel. You can still sign up. It's in the Discord. All right, so let's go over. Start number one, okay? Number one, okay? That's basically the same as just using PVA candles and volume? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, PVA candles and volume sucks, number one. All right, so we have the highest accuracy liquidity candles that there is. All right, the highest accuracy coded specifically, the only indicator out there coded specifically by Trader at Home, which is where PVSRA, Sonic and Trader at Home, okay, was created. Let me get rid of these borders here really quick. All right, there we go. Okay, so number one, we have the only indicator out there coded specifically to Trader at Home and Sonic, the PVA candles, which is why we get way more accurate readings than the PVA candles in volume and PVA candles in dragons. All right, that's why our liquidity zones are more accurate. All right, what else do we have? On part one, we have session highs and session lows for every session. Okay, we have the 4-hour 50 EMA. Do they work on any chart or do they work on every chart, Tommy? Every chart they work on, doesn't matter. Okay, we also have the session high and low of every session that we use. Sydney, Tokyo, Hong Kong, London, New York, and the dead gap time. All right, there's also, it shows you where the 4-hour 50 EMA is on every time frame chart. Okay, you can see your 4-hour 50 EMA there, 4-hour 50 EMA. Okay, so you always have a context of where price is in conjunction with the 4-hour 50 EMA. Okay, and then what else do we have on this, right? We have auto liquidity zone and auto liquidity recovery coordinated with the colors of the boxes. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning and watch on replay. Okay, you can turn off and select also which color candles you want to show the zones. So if you only want red and green, it will only show you the red and green. So what it does is, let's go back even further actually. Let's go back even further. Okay, let's get rid of replay here. And let's go all the way back before this nice drop off. Okay, let's go all the way back before the drop off here. Okay, so as you can see, we have a green zone that has started to form. All right, and then what happens is as they come in and get recovered, the zones disappear and reprint whatever new color candle zones there are. Okay? And you follow that all the way along. All right? Liquid PVA candles in volume doesn't do this, I assure you. Okay? And you can see when new zones are formed and new zones, and those zones get recovered. Okay? Once they recover, they disappear from the chart, and you know that they no longer need recovery. Okay? You can get to also choose how many zones you want to see. So for me, I like to look at the most recent, 3 zones or so. Okay? So I only want to see the most recent 3 zones. Okay? And then also, let's see. Let's also do this. Let's also go in and get rid of blue and purple. Okay? So as we change it, now, even though there are red liquidity zones above for the purpose of keeping the chart, okay, from the purpose of keeping the chart with all these zones all over it, we can only show the most recent zones to the upside and the most recent 3 zones to the downside. 3 to the upside, 3 to the downside. Okay? And then you have the options to turn on and off all of this stuff as well. This is just part 1. What else do we have? Vertically here, we have the start times of each session. Okay? So you can see when the next session starts, when Tokyo starts, Hong Kong starts, London, New York, the entire next set of sessions. You have an idea on the chart, a visual representation of how far you have in price action until the next session starts. On top of that, we also have, if we go down to the lower time frames, we also have the tactical windows, or what some people call the Brinks boxes, which are the pre-open for New York and the London session, okay? Which automatically print the start and the finish, okay? So if we go to replay mode here, this is what we get, okay? So here's the start of your tactical window, which is the lead up to the New York Open. As soon as it opens, okay, you already know when the end time is. So it gives you the high and the low as it forms of the Brinks box, or the tactical window leading up into the next session. You can see recovering previous liquidity as well. And you already know when the next session starts, bang, there's New York. And it tracks the high and the low of each session as it is formed, as well as all the liquidity zones as well. Does all that for you, okay? So you get your sessions, your highs and lows, your session start and finish times. You have your liquidity zones. You have your EMAs for your chart. You have the 4-hour 50 EMA on every time frame so that you know where the higher time frame traders are trading. You know the context. You can always keep context of what is going on in the higher time frame charts as well. My favorite part is obviously the liquidity zones. It's so great to not have to drag those on all the different time frames. And I also like the 4-hour 50 EMA tool. I've taken many trades off of the resistance and support on the 4-hour 50 EMA. Okay, so this is part 1. This is just part 1 of 3. Okay, part 2 will have all of the levels that we use here at Tactical Analysis. So part 2 will be a second script that you can turn on and off the entire part. All the levels can be turned on and off on your chart in one click of a button, or you can check them one at a time, however you want to do it. And then you'll get your daily high and low, and your previous day's high and low, and your daily VWAP will all be on the chart at your disposal. You'll get your weekly high and low and previous week's high and low, and your weekly VWAP as well. And you'll also get your monthly high and low and your monthly VWAP. Also your daily open. Also you get your psychological high and low, your weekly psychological levels, and you get your initial balance high and low for each session. I don't know if I'm leaving something out, but basically part 2 is all your levels. So to keep clutter off the chart, you can do the same thing you do with this. You can click the eye tool and turn on those levels at once, turn them off, or you can go in each individually, turn them on and off. So you'll have part 1 is your volume, your price action, your recovery, TVAR, tactical volume analysis and recovery. Part 2 will be all the levels, and then part 3 is in the works right now. All right, you can make your donation for all parts included in the donation. Okay, you can make all the parts available in the donation. Part 3, we're in the works right now. Like I said, we're cooking up some great ideas. Something maybe a tactical directional indicator that'll be something similar to the TDI that we see on the bottom of our charts that I use for divergences and potential trade direction, incorporated with money flow like there is on Market Liberator. So we're working on some cool ideas for Part 3. All right, and the best part about all this is it's donation only. Donation only, guys. Okay, so it's not a paid indicator. It's a donation of whatever you can afford, whatever you feel is fair. These guys worked very hard on this indicator, so I know you guys will really appreciate the work they did as I did. I can't imagine having another indicator on this chart anymore. So we worked hard to get this for you. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Shout out to Disruptive Devs. We have the timeline release. We already have about 100 people. 100 of the 120 snipers that we have right now are already using this indicator. We've been testing it. Haven't had any bugs, any issues, and that's the reason why it's been rolled out in parts like this, so that there can be an early access for people to test, to use it, to make sure we have no issues. Part 2 will be coming out in the next week or two for me to test. Part 2 will be coming out to be tested for a week or so, and then released into the Discord with everybody else, along with Part 1 as well on December 3rd. And then Part 3 will be shortly thereafter. We want to do something really, everything we're doing, we want to be something unique. Part 3 especially. So we're going to do something really unique for you. If you have any suggestions, you guys, the Disruptive Developers team has their own section in the Discord, okay, for your access, your support, suggestions, bugs, any information you need on the indicator. They are in the Discord ready to answer your questions at any time, all right, unless they're sleeping, okay? So shout out to Friend. As you guys know, if you're new to the channel, the Disruptive Devs team are Friend, okay? If you're new to the channel, you might know Friend, F-R-I-E-N _DD. He's done a ton of indicators, the chart champion levels, the MTF key support and resistance levels, VWAPs, just a ton of indicators. Ludacode as well, Attacks, MVS, Buddy Matt, and our very own Premier Crypto. The 4 of them have come together and are using our partnership with Tactical Analysis as their launching point for their company, Disruptive Devs, that are going to be doing indicators in the space of TradingView. Also, we got a little thing going with Trading Light, guys. So if you like the TVAR for TradingView, okay, be on the lookout for some really cool stuff. We're just getting started here, guys.